Let's go. Hope my internet don't crash. Yo, what
What's
is
going
up,
on,
ladies and
man?
gentlemen? You already know what it is. It is from the logo, episode I think 58, maybe 59, one of the two. Yes, 58. And as you see from the title of the show, should we be worried about Team USA? Now, in case you missed it, Team USA had a game against South Sudan last night. Or not last night, but like 3 p.m. Eastern. I ain't gonna lie, I watched every second of that game. And when I tell you, bro, I knew that we were about to be on the wrong side of history had it not been for had it not been for the GOAT James stepping up, the greatest driver of the basketball. Everybody knows that. But that game, if you watch South Sudan, the shots, JT Thor, what was his name? Carleek Jones, I think
Yeah,
he was
Carly
the G
Jones.
League. He played for the he was G League MVP, I think, but he was when he was with the Chicago Bulls. So you know more about him than me, right? You
Yeah.
know anything about the boy? Like that man had a triple double last night. What we
Hey,
talking
listen,
about?
Carly Jones is the master of everything but NBA basketball. Real talk, bro. Like every time I've seen this guy play in everything but the NBA, he's always put up numbers. But when he's in the NBA game, the dude can't score to save. He's so undersized, he can't score to save his life, man.
And for him to be that undersized, you're right about that. For him to cook Drew Holiday on that last shot, he may have missed it, but he did get past he did get past Drew Holiday. I was like, yo, the floater looked
Yeah.
crazy. AD with the good contest late kind of might have altered that shot a little bit, but and then what's the boy Shayak? I hope I'm saying his name right. What's the dude name? Damn. Marial Shayok. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Broke 6 of 12 from three. Uh, he
Yeah.
was the 2019 second round pick for Philadelphia 76ers out of Iowa State. Best player. This article says he was the best player on the floor at times of this game, and they right. I mean, bro couldn't miss. I'm sitting here like JT Thor. Shout out him too. I think he averaged like 3 a game through 63 games with the Hornets, but he was balling last night. So it is what it is. I would be remiss, me and Hayes would be remiss to start the show off today without kind of giving y'all our thoughts on the situation with the PC beef that has occurred, over the week. Hayes, I'm gonna let you go first because I started talking about
Listen, here's my thoughts on it, and I know not everybody's going to agree with me. I've talked to Jalen so many times, and so I could say that I have no doubt in my mind that Jalen doesn't have a racist bone in his body.
it. Mhm.
He said something that was a bad joke. It was terrible. Should have never been said. And hopefully he learns from it, and we can move on and be better. From that going forward. That's all you can hope for. I'm not going to condemn Jalen personally or anything like that. Things happen. We've said it, and keep it pushing. That's all I can say. The thing that I don't like too, and I don't know how much trouble this is going to get me in, but the thing that's starting to happen around PC, where drama happens on PC, and then everybody goes to their individual channels and has live streams and tries to eat off of it that way. Like honestly, to me, it's just a bad look, and it's something that I hope that we can all get back to focusing on actual content, because PC doesn't need to be about a bunch of drama. Like what we do here, as far as covering the league, covering sports in general, it's special. There's not a lot of black owned outlets that do it. And I wanted for us to focus on being great, because we have great, amazing hosts here that you're not always going to agree with. You're not always going to see their perspective. But the thing that should come down to it, and something that I've had to do myself, is like, let's just focus on just the sports, bro. Like Jalen did say what he said. It's bad, and he's paying for it. And hopefully he learns and grows from it as a person. Is all I can say.
Yeah, I'm the same way on it. I don't really like to entertain a lot of drama, especially online drama, because it
Yeah.
goes either way. All I will say from my perspective, Jalen is like Hayes said, there isn't a racist bone in his body. Um, Jalen is someone who I've gotten to know more and more since that Deck the Hall special in December. And, he made a very bad joke, I will say. I'm not condemning the joke in any way, shape, or form. I don't even know how you come up with a joke like that. I think that, people can say that they've had experiences with dark humor in their friends in their personal life. I agree, but I've never had a dark humor experience to that level. I don't like to really touch those subjects. That's just not really me. But it was a terrible joke, and like Hayes said, hopefully he learns from it. People are going give him the side eye, and justifiably so. If that's how you look at Jalen. But from our perspective, it was a terrible joke, and it's something that he should learn from, and hopefully he will. But I'm not really going to speak too much more on it. And to Hayes' point about the other thing, PC kind of coming together as a whole and understanding that what we're doing here on Players' Choice is special. There's a reason why I wanted to come back to Players' Choice. I've been messing with Players' Choice for 4 years now. They love me. I love them. I love everybody in charge. Because I see the vision in all of this. Black owned, right? Predominantly Black hosts and Black shows, and just giving. I mean, we're talking ball at the end of the day. Giving you viral clips, letting everybody come on. Everybody's having a good time. I just think that if we can stick to that formula of PC being a place that really brings everybody together, all races actually, if you ask me, if we stick to that, that's all we need to be focused on. This is, situations like this come up, but as long as you learn from them and move past them, I think everything should be okay. But once again, let me just reiterate, terrible joke. We know Jalen. Hopefully he learns from it. And that's about all I'm going to say on it. Let's get back to Team USA. So let me ask you this question. I don't know if I really wanted to start with the title of it, but let's break down, player by player, I feel like. So we were supposed to do a show on Thursday. I think it was titled who the alpha player was, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think the best player on Team USA is, Hayes?
After watching them play, bro, I don't know. I know who I think it should be. Like, it should be AD. Like, it should be quite a bit of people, bro. Like, but it goes back to like what we're seeing as the sum of the parts here with Team USA. It honestly is just leaving a bad taste in my mouth because I don't trust Team USA right now. But if you're talking about the alpha, like AD should be.
Okay. You're not the first person I've heard say that. You're not the first person I've heard say that. Here's my thing. Chat, y'all get on this too. Who do y'all think the alpha of Team USA should be? I've heard a lot of love for Anthony Davis, right? And I see it. I see it when I watch the games. When the thing that Team USA has that people I think are kind of looking past at times is if you watch the game even yesterday, to start the second half, they had the lineup of, I believe it was Ant, Derek White, AD, Bam, and I think Tatum. They started off with that lineup. They could have went with the starters, Steph, LeBron, Joel, and the crew. They could have went with the starters, but they didn't. They said, you know what? We're going to focus on this group because this group right here prioritizes defense every single possession. And when you think about it logically with the lineup that they have, I mean, with Anthony Edwards at the point of attack on defense, I saw Anthony Edwards as soon as I think it was like the first play or second play of the second half. Dude dribbled the ball up the court from South Sudan. Ant was guarding him full court, stripped it by the time he got to half court, went back down the court and scored a bucket. And you could tell that the defense, and they were on a run because you remember going into halftime, they were down 16. So that kick-started the run or the momentum boost that they needed, which came from defense. Steph Curry, even after the game, said, we got to get back to prioritizing what makes us good. And that's our emphasis on defense, right? And that's the biggest thing that I said after even the Canada game was this team is going to prioritize itself on defense. And if you have that, everything else should kind of fall into play. Now, what I think is interesting in all of this is when I was watching that comeback yesterday, there were a lot of times in which LeBron just said, you know what, give me the damn ball, get out the way, right? Hold up, we got super chat.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. We're gonna get to it. Appreciate your context clues. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it for sure. Right after this segment. What I noticed a lot of was LeBron being like, "Give me the ball, get the hell out the way," which is fine, and it worked in certain spurts, especially at the end of the game when he drove it in for the lay. But a lot of the times that told me was we don't really know what we're doing out here. Mind you, they were 1 of 11 to start off from 3-point range. So I get that, you're not really good. That's kind of an anomaly situation, but at the end of the day, for me, I think that the head alpha in all of this should be maybe LeBron kind of spearheading the shit because to me, it seems like Steph and LeBron are the untouchables in all of this, meaning they're going to start regardless. They're the elder statesmen, right? It makes sense. And you saw when Steph Curry had that was a 24-point explosion, right? The previous game, they kind of were running their offense through Steph, and that's what made them unstoppable. Now, I will throw this to you, Hayes. What about when KD gets back?
That's gonna be because KD has the prototypical international game, right? Like him and AD should be a big parts of it. I think what I want to see from Team USA, yes, KD could be everything because he can do it all, especially defend. He can honestly, at the international level, not the NBA level, at the international level, he can guard damn near 1 through 5. And so
Right.
you got to be healthy and locked in. You have him and AD going. What they can bring defensively as far as to get in the rhythm could be great for Team USA. But that's the thing that bothers me is that I thought we moved past Team USA playing like the team that's like, I'm just going to out talent you. That doesn't work in international basketball anymore. You
I
have to
feel you
play
on
as a
that.
team, and they're not
Mhm,
doing that right now. They're not at
mhm.
all.
And you know what? To that point, that's a great point, Hayes. You have to play as a team. When you're going up against these teams, these ball clubs that have played basketball together numerous summers, year round type shit. Like teammate chemistry is on 100. You can have a situation where you run into a team like South Sudan, who all of the pressure is not on them at all. They have zero pressure, if any, right? They have zero pressure. The stakes are at the end of the day, if the game isn't a blowout, which because I was watching in the first quarter, I was like, all right, by the third quarter, this should be a blowout. But then by the second quarter, shit went completely left. And I was
Yeah.
like, yo, a second, hold on. South Sudan ain't missing. But the fact of the matter is, appreciate you, Dirty Dev. The fact of the matter is, you have a team like South Sudan where guys are essentially playing to prove that they can hang with the best of the best. Team USA was put together based off of a comment from Noah Lyles. But to be honest with you, it's kind of making more and more sense as time goes on. They beat South Sudan by a point. By,
And let's
by,
not forget
by the
either the game against Australia, they should have put that away, and that game was closer down the
yes,
stretch than what it should have been. You couldn't even put away Team
exactly.
Australia. Like this
I,
Team USA team has not played in a way to where you can take anything for granted. And to your point, like these other teams are coming in, they don't have any pressure on them because if they lose, you lost against Team USA. It is what you're South Sudan. South Sudan didn't even have an Olympic team, I think, 2 Olympics ago. So
yeah,
there's like they have no pressure on them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So like when you have that team that is coming out, like you said, they have operated as a team for years now. They didn't just come together because of a comment from somebody else. Like you got to be prepared for it. And to see Carly Jones get past one of the players that are supposed to be a premier perimeter defender in Drew Holiday, it's embarrassing.
yeah, yeah. And my thing is that it's a situation where at the end of the day, it's going to come down to lineups. Now, let me ask
Mhm.
you this question: are you on the side that because I've heard a lot of people, for example, say Anthony Davis should be starting over Joel Embiid. Now, based off of certain plays that I saw in the game yesterday, right? Like for example, when South Sudan was starting to go on their run, the only person on Team USA, because Team USA was struggling from the perimeter, the only person that was actually consistent outside of LeBron for them was Joel Embiid in terms of just giving the defense something that they really can't combat, right? Because when
Mhm.
you look at South Sudan in the second half, they were showing a lot of double teams at Joel Embiid. And for the most part, he was shitting the bricks for the majority of those double teams. In one instance, Joel had the ball at the top of the key, and there was somebody on the wing. I forgot if it was Tatum or maybe Steph. Somebody was on the wing on his right side. Joel Embiid is in single coverage and just does a behind the back pass that completely goes just the fuck out of bounds, right? So so I'm sitting here saying, yo, you are first of all, you just got your assists up relatively last year. You've been building on that since your MVP year. That was the one knock that I used to have against Joel Embiid in the Joel versus Jokic debate was Joel really should be getting a lot more assists than he does because he draws so much attention. So he
Mhm.
should be able to realistically find a open corner or an open wing or a cutter or something. And for some reason that just didn't happen. Even in situations like last night, I was like, yo, you can't even make a simple you over here doing a fancy 2K double tap bead pass or double tap circle pass, and it's going to the owner of the team. Like you're just going right into the front row. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Anthony Davis, however, is more. I think Anthony Davis could be more of a connector player, if that makes sense.
that makes sense.
Um, you know, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on it.
No, I mean, like there's a Joel Embiid can do a lot as far as like you said, being the connector. Anthony Davis can do that. They have a lot of players that can do that, but again, you have to play as a team. And to me, this isn't the time to get cute. To just boil it down for anybody, like if you're taking this seriously, it's not a time to get cute. And so the fact that this team has no rhythm together It's shown and it's evident, and it's being evident against teams that you're like, most people didn't even know South Sudan is its own country now. Like most people didn't know that. So, and I see somebody say Joe Owens shouldn't be playing for us. He has dual citizenship. Leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. No, but stylistically, how Team USA wants to play is the thing that they need to use the rest of these tune-ups for until games start getting together, because there is no style right now. There is no rhythm to this team. There is no style of play at all. And so when you have coaches like Eric Spoelstra and Steve Kerr, you expect them to figure it out. They got to figure out a way to figure it out.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know if this is the oldest Team USA team ever.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Keep in mind, back in the 90s, you had players that there were people who were on their last leg in the NBA playing Olympic basketball. So
no, I thought like he's just saying that because LeBron is 50, but even still, it is what it is. LeBron, it is what it is. The fact that LeBron, watching the game too, like the fact that I knew how the game was going to end, right? By like the 2 minute and 30 second mark. Because I was sitting here saying, okay, it's a lot of back and forth that I'm seeing. It's a lot of there isn't a lot of consistency from Team USA as far as the offense and the defense. So looking at how the game was going and how LeBron was at that point, he had like 23, 6 and 6 or whatever. So I'm sitting here saying, okay, this is going to be the LeBron show at the end, right? Steph kind of brought them out of the 3-point shooting slump, which of course he would because he's Steph. But in terms of bringing it home, I was like, there's only one player that actually should bring them home, and that's LeBron, because at the end of the day, there isn't like LeBron, every time he drove to the rim yesterday, they could not stop him. Players were still like flying off of him. As soon as LeBron lowered his shoulder, get out of the way. Like you might as well just get out the way. So from what I saw, I was like, this is going to be a predictable finish, which it was. It was just up to LeBron making the layup at that point. But that's the play. The fact that we have to get to a moment like that where it's like, well, LeBron, save us again. Like, I agree with you.
It shouldn't get to that point. Not in 2000, not in the year of our Lord 2024. Should we be at the point where LeBron still got to save Team USA? Like this should be one of those ones where it's a transition. It's a changing of the guard from the older players to the new players. And it seems like we're still going to, Steph and LeBron are still going to have to put Team USA on their back from what we've seen so far. Can that change? Yeah, but they're going to have to show it for it to actually change.
Exactly. And I will say this too. Jason Tatum. It's getting hard to defend you, my dog. It's getting real hard. Look, chat. Give me y'all's thoughts on Jason Tatum in the exhibition game so far. Because look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't remember the last time I saw Tatum hit a three. So far in these 4 games, I just seen Tatum drive into the lane and move some niggas and get some and-ones to get to the line or something like that. I didn't see him drive in and play, utilize that new cut. But the threes is just, damn, I remember there was one of the threes he had shot last night. It was after the whistle. Shit hit nothing. I was like, what are we doing?
You think they're going to regret not having Jaylen Brown on the team?
Look, I will stand on this. There is no reason that Jaylen Brown should not be on this team. I will stand on that. I understand the whole Derek White better role player. I love Derek White. He's probably the one player on the Celtics that I like the most. But Jaylen Brown, me and Gifter were talking about it before. Like the fact that this man in his 2023-2024 campaign, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, no All-NBA teams, no Team USA selection, and I'm just like, no All-NBA teams, and they won how many games? And he was the second best player on the no All-NBA. Bro, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, it still pisses me off, man. It pisses me off. But look, if JB was here, to be honest with you, if JB was here taking on those perimeter defensive assignments, I think he might even do a better job than Derek White has been doing.
I think so.
Derek White's on limited time. But I'm just like last night, I'm sitting here imagining Jaylen Brown in these spots. And I'm like, shit, imagine a backcourt of JB and Ian getting busy. Like, come on now. But whatever. You know, there's something fishy with them.
That's a fact. But I guess from one Team USA struggle to another, The women's team USA got absolutely mollywopped by the WNBA All-Stars last night. Arike, shout out to Arike, who's just an absolute star, and she deserved to win Finals MVP. If it wasn't for that second half, we'd be talking about an Alicia Gray who won the skills competition, the 3-point competition, and she was on track to probably win the All-Star MVP before Arike just said in the second half, "Hey, y'all, motherfuckers can't stop me." What I did love about this, bro, is that the WNBA All-Star game was more. I don't think we've had an NBA All-Star game that was that competitive since Kobe's last All-Star game, personally.
Okay. And you know what? I remember that game vividly, so I can agree with you on that one. That one was crazy. Yeah. That look. Give me your thoughts on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese teaming up, because I didn't catch as much of the game as I wanted to, but what I did catch was a few Caitlin Clark assists and watching Angel Reese get to the double-double. So I was like, all right, bet, cool, whatever. Those are the milestones that I would want to see anyway. Caitlin Clark ain't hit a three. That was the one thing I was waiting on, but it is what it is. The fact that Team USA was taking a loss like that, shit. Now people that said Caitlin Clark should have been on Team USA.
You already know that. I'm surprised. I haven't really been on social media today, so I will see what that outcry is like, because I'm sure Caitlin Clark fans are going off about that. But it was nice to see that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese share the same floor, because I've personally said on like my platforms and stuff, these ladies have been playing together since AAU, well, against each other since AAU. If anybody else understands their tendencies, it's those two, and they play very different positions. But like, it was good to see. It should have brought people together, but of course it made people argue even more. Angel Reese with her double-double in only 18 minutes, the first rookie in WNBA history to have a double-double in it, which we got to talk at some point too. Like, I don't like the fact that then they tried to say that it happened in 99, and it's like they forgot that their own league, that Yolanda Griffin didn't have her double-double until her second All-Star game, which is in 2000. It's like, did you forget your league all happens within the same calendar year? Because how do you let that go? And then the WNBA, like, every time Angel accomplishes something, there seems to be some type of crap around it. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it just happens. Like, how as a league do you get that wrong and then have to go and say, oh no, actually she was the first one? What?
Just wild behavior.
But records all the way around. Caitlin Clark breaking the assist record, Angel Reese being the first one rookie to have a double-double in the All-Star game, Arike the most points scored in the second half of All-Star. Like, just greatness. This was a record-breaking All-Star weekend. And the thing also, somebody who I've watched the WNBA consistently for almost 12 years, right? And this was probably the best presentation as well that the WNBA ever had in an All-Star game, as far as the way that it was covered, actually making it feel like an event. Like, the WNBA game was in Chicago a couple years ago, and people who lived in Chicago didn't even know. That's how bad they advertised it. I feel like everybody knew WNBA All-Star weekend was this weekend. So I got to give some credit to the league for getting that together, because it was needed.
Yeah. I think too, like you said, it feels like there's a revolution happening. And at the same time, it feels like there's friction in that, because I've heard people that said, I think Diana Taurasi is Caitlin Clark's biggest hater or something like that. And, when you're looked at on a level of her, right, and the greatness of her, Sue Bird, and all of the Candace Parker, Maya Moore, all of the greats that are already established, what you have here is literally that Bird and Magic revolution, that feel to it, where it's like they're coming to save the league, right? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being on the same All-Star team, to me, I was like, now their fans better shut, or haters or whatever, need to just shut up for one day, literally just one day, right? And just witness the greatness that we could. Because I've always said, and fuck putting them against each other, imagine them on the same team. That's what I've always looked at. I'm like, shit. Yeah, they're great rivals, and it's all made up in the circumstances around the team that is around them. But if they were on the same team, I feel like their fans wouldn't even hate each other. They probably would team up against other WNBA.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
Like, come on, bro. So great for the W. Really happy. But let's see. I wanted to get to this, bro, because I told Hayes before the show started.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the graphic you ordered. My bad.
I told Hayes before the show started that I saw a graphic that pissed me off. And not a lot of graphics pissed me off, but this one just so happened to. It says I'm taking prime DeMarcus Cousins. I don't know if y'all can see it. Prime Boogie Cousins over Joel Embiid every time. Now, my comment, all I said was, all right, bro. Prime Boogie was cold as fuck. But
Mhm.
nah. Because I saw a comment. I just wanted to just go through the comments. Now, before I let you go, Hayes, I'm just gonna read one that really stuck out to me. It says Boogie scored significantly less efficiency, and played significantly worse defense. Nostalgia bias is ruining sports. Can't even use Embiid's lack of playoff success either, because Boogie had none of that either. So it's like, yo. So give me your thoughts on that.
I get it that you could in sports, you can try to find an angle to make almost any conversation that you want to try to give it validity. Almost any angle, right? It just depends on how in the weeds, what stats you want to use, and how you want to try to craft your argument. You can try to make anything. Like I had somebody the other day try to have an argument with me that Jimmy Butler was a better scorer than Michael Jordan because of his per 38, and I literally was like, bro, please shut the fuck up talking to me. Like that's really what I had to say. I was just like, "Hey, please shut up talking to me." But to say that prime Boogie Cousins over Joel Embiid, to me, it's like, to your point, any knock that you can have on Joel Embiid as far as playoff success, Boogie only made it to the playoffs 3 times his whole career. 3 times, and I believe most of those wins came in 2019 with the Golden State Warriors. If I'm not mistaken, somebody fact check me on that one.
And the Pelicans, I think.
Oh yeah, what? I don't think they ever made the playoffs. I think they were close. Did they make the playoffs with the Pelicans?
I thought they made it and Boogie got hurt or something like that.
Maybe that's what happened. But Boogie Cousins' prime was great. He had what, a 3-4 year stretch of averaging double doubles. Well, 20 and 10. He averaged double double most of his career, but over 20 points, over 10 rebounds, and you got to give him credit for what that is. But let's be clear here. How many wins did he have? And while Joel Embiid has not been able to get over the hump of making as far as the playoffs as what we wanted to see, like Boogie Cousins put up a lot of great numbers on the team that didn't do much, and that's just the way I look at it. Was Boogie more physically dominant than Joel Embiid? I could probably make that argument if that's the argument that you want to make. But I'm not saying that I would take prime Boogie over prime Embiid by any stretch of the imagination, because I watched the game of basketball. The game of basketball isn't just told on the stat sheet. Yeah, you can make an argument for that on the stat sheet, but like, legitimately, how many MVP conversations was Boogie Cousins ever in?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we? I understand that y'all hate Joel Embiid. I understand that, but can we please stop just pulling shit out the ass just because we hate somebody? Like Boogie Cousins, for his playoff career, let me get this right. His playoff career, he averages 8.4 a game. And like he said, he's only been in 3 different playoff series for 3 different teams. And the one that he had the most success with was Denver in 2022 in terms of production. He got hurt with the Warriors. I remember that. And it was nothing. Like Joel Embiid, from all across the board, efficiency, say free throw merchant, fine, but he's taller than Boogie and can shoot better than him from the free throw line. Ooh, like that's great. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you can't knock him for being effective. What are we talking about? And I saw a comment too that pissed me off. Somebody was like, they were actually defending Boogie Cousins, and in the comment they said something along the lines of, Boogie actually led that Poverty Kings team to the playoffs. I said, Nickel, what? I said, what? So you hate Joel Embiid this bad that you ain't even gonna fact check Boogie Cousins? You just said he played for the Kings, didn't he? He averaged 20 and 10, didn't he? They had to have made the play. Come on, bro. Please stop hating Joel Embiid. If you're gonna hate Joel Embiid, fine, but just don't cap on him, man. Don't cap on him, man. Don't cap for another man. Like, just stop. Please stop. Anthony Davis would have been a better one to compare to. That's the conversation we're having right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing, bro? But damn, that's my piece. That's my piece.
Like, and I love Boogie Cousins. I love Boogie. Like I hate the way that Boogie's career ended, because it finally started to seem like he was about to start hitting a different trajectory, and then it just all came crumbling down. But like, let's not cap, like, act like it was more than what it was. And it's not all on Boogie. Like, it's not on him. He didn't build those teams in Sacramento. No, like, Sacramento is cursed. It is what it is. I hope that they can crack it now, but it just, at the end of the day, man, me personally, and like I said, I'm not going to argue with nobody. Anybody can find an angle for any argument that they want to make,
Yeah.
but I'm not a prime. Give me prime Joel Embiid every day, all day. It's just my
Yeah.
personal argument on it.
Same. Now, look, that brings me to this next quote from Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid on if he felt he was on a greatest of all time trajectory. Yeah, if you think about it, the only thing that stopped me is just freak injuries. Now, to yeah,
Yeah.
my question is now, do I think that he was on greatest of all time trajectory? Not really.
No.
I think he might have been maybe on like greatest offensive center per trajectory, and even that's a maybe because you still got Will. Like, for the modern era, he was doing incredible things as a center. He has been doing incredible things as a center throughout the regular season, right? That's the biggest thing that we can point to. But I mean, like I remember the James Harden talks. Hayes, I don't know about you. I remember the James Harden talks, prime Harden talks, where they were comparing the split screen of him and Michael Jordan's comparisons and all of that.
Mhm.
They were warranted at the time, but the more and more that the years go by, you start to really look at it and you're like, okay, but one of these, anytime they compare somebody to MJ is always the one between the two that actually translated to the postseason. That's what I find. That's hilarious all the time. Any of the of the player comparisons, they never translate like MJ did. It didn't matter if it was Houston Harden. It didn't matter, and even in Joel's case, him getting compared to Will Chamberlain.
Mhm.
You know, like greatest of all time trajectory, nah. But into some high center talks, maybe. I don't know what you feel about it.
I mean, Joel Embiid, it it comes down to when you're talking about greatest of all time, I do think that playoff performance does matter. And regardless of the
Mhm.
reason, right, whether it's injury or whatever, that does
Yeah.
matter to me. And I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I'd have to spend some time to really go through like where I would rank him in centers all time. But he hasn't had the postseason successes as some of the greatest centers of all time. So he's not on that list to me, just for that reason alone, because of how I personally look at the playoff success as being a part of that, regardless if it's part of the team, whatever. Like that matters to me. And Joel Embiid is slighted some. I think he's overrated by some as well. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. But
Mhm.
that conversation for freak injuries, unfortunately, that's part of your story. So we can't leave that out of your story. That has to be part of your story as well. And so, yeah, he's had freak injuries. Not all of it's in his control, but at the end of the day, that's your story and it's part of it. That's just it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
It's tough too because I look at when I feel like more players are starting to get into those conversations about like the what if GOAT conversation. You remember the KD conversations about him being the greatest of all time and him being like kind of what else what have I not done or whatever. And it's like in that regard, you to me, I was like KD's kind of just looking past what he knows that the masses are looking for him to do in his
yeah.
career, which is win a championship on his own. Like for me, Katie's one of my favorite players. Well, he probably is my third or fourth favorite player of all time, right? But even to me, it's like, damn, like, yeah, Katie, you're probably gonna have to get that one off your shoulder. Off your shoulder, you're gonna have to cross that off your bucket list because for people that were using that against you in the Steph Curry all-time conversations, it's like Steph not only did it once without you, but twice. And the first time he did it, he had Harrison Barnes, in your position, or Andre Iguodala and Harrison Barnes in your position. And then the second time, it was Andrew Wiggins in your position. So it's a matter of Steph being at the forefront of can win you a championship, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's a tough thing because of course we know Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers of all time, is a top 3 scorer of all time. If you have him at number 1, I'm not batting an eye based off of efficiency, based off of effectiveness, based off of like all of that, right? But at the same time, the hardware and the playoff success and all of that, it comes along with it. Now, Kevin Durant's never been a shabby postseason performer by any stretch, but he has had some bad ones, right? It hasn't always been perfect. Um, the most infamous moment was him choking the 3-1 lead to Steph Curry in his entire career. That's his most
Yeah.
infamous moment. So it's a tough thing to carry, but it does kind of hold you out of some of the conversations that you might want to be a part of. It just comes with it. you know?
Yeah, that's just the reality of it. Like I said, we can have a conversation for without injuries and all this, but the fact is
Mhm.
you have to factor in what the actual story is. Those side conversations can be had. They're side conversations. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, like that's your story. The injuries are a huge part of your story. That's a huge part of when we go back and talk about Joel Embiid, the injuries, the not getting able to make it far in the play, all that is going to be part of your story. And that's the objective truth. Like it just is what it is there, man.
Yeah,
So
it's the same thing. I look at it the same way as like Steph early on in his career. His ankle injuries, that could have been his story, but he figured out a way to get that out of his story, to make that just a chapter in his story, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Steph figured that was the biggest obstacle that he had. His literally he was about to get traded because of this shit, and then he figured it out. Joel Embiid, in your instance, it's an every year occurrence. No matter how great you are in the regular season, no matter how many of your supporters want to put you ahead of Nikola Jokic and he's best player in the world or best center in the world talks, you get hurt every year. And it's right around the time where your team needs you the absolute most. You still play, but you're
yeah,
hobbled, and it is like always at the worst time. So hopefully, him when if let me ask you this question: if Joel wins the championship, what does that do for him in those talks? Would that silence, that portion of his story, or what?
for some it would, for some for sure, and I think it's how you win the championship as well. Like to
Yeah.
me, um, right or wrong, however you want to look at it, if Joel Embiid wins a title and he doesn't get Finals MVP, that's just going to use that to knock his legacy more. Like they're
Yeah.
just going to, and how that run to there, like how many of those games are you healthy? How you're playing over that? Like it's a, I can't answer that blanketly, but like winning a title is going to go a long way for a lot of people. I would probably even go to say maybe most people. But then as you get further removed and away from that title, people are going to say, well, he didn't win Finals MVP. Why didn't he win Finals MVP? He didn't win it because of this. Like it's those things are just going to keep, as the further you get along from that, it's going to introduce those other things into the conversation. So I'll say this: if Joel Embiid wins a title, he's the Finals MVP. He's clearly the best player on the floor in that final series. Yes, it's going to go a long way to silence
Mhm.
that doubt around. So we'll
I
see.
agree. Yep, I agree. Let's see. You got anything else off the top of your head that you just want
Yes,
to?
we got to talk about this Evan Mobley contract. We cannot make it out
Okay.
with talking about this Evan Mobley contract. Like, listen, 5 years, 224 million for a young player that is good. I want to make no mistake about it. I like Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's never averaged more than 18 points per game over the course of his career. Honestly, that whole draft class, and maybe this
Mhm.
is just a hot opinion for me, and maybe it's wrong. People are going to completely kill me for it. And if so, whatever, it is what it is. Nobody in the 2021 draft class to me has earned an early max extension. And why are so many of them getting it?
Mhm.
That's the
Look,
question that I have.
look. That's not even a bad point, Hayes. I'm not even going. Like I was sitting here trying to think of a way to spin it, but no, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And that's just what it comes down to. I like Evan Mobley as a player. I know that on that Cavs team, his role has changed. Basically, each year that he's been there, his role has changed some because of things and changes that team has made, or players being healthy or
Mhm.
not healthy. So his role has changed every single year. But if we're really looking at it, the fact that once Scotty Barnes got the max extension that he got, it set a bad precedence for me for the rest of that draft class, because Cade Cunningham, good player, hasn't really accomplished nothing. He's had his own health concerns. That team has ran like shit. Let's hope that changed. Jalen Green, by the Houston Rockets, has definitely not shown enough to deserve a max contract extension. Evan Mobley, no. Scotty Barnes, no to me. And then you start getting into the place where it's hell no. Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner, Davion Mitchell. None of these. I just made it through the top 9 picks. Zaire Williams, let's round out the top 10. You mean to tell me that any of those guys has earned an early max contract extension? Come on, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I'm reading the comments on this shit right now. Somebody said, explain this in NFL terms, and then somebody said paying Justin Fields a max contract extension. That's crazy.
That's
Uh,
exactly what it is.
somebody said Mac Jones getting paid. I was like, yo, all right, hold on. Look, I agree with you on the point of I feel like because of the new CBA and the way things are working and the way that the salary cap is just continuously increasing and all of that every 3 or 4 years, the money that we're seeing players make is going to just be baffling. I think back to the 2016 free agency offseason where role players were making superstar money. And it was like,
Mhm.
what is happening right now? We're getting 4-year deals that you would look at and you would say for Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, like, these are type of guys that were getting good money back then. Now
Yeah.
you have rookies that are in situations where it's all about how they play in those 4 years. Now for Evan Mobley, where does he even rank on the hierarchy of the team itself in terms of offense or whatever? He's great on the boards, great interior defender, but what is he like a 14 and 9 guy? Like I'm just off the top of my head, not even looking at his stats. I'm looking him up right now. I don't
You
even
talking about Evan
remember
Mobley?
him having like Evan Mobley. He was 15 and 9. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
15
not
and 9.
last season. So and for his career, I'll round up just to give him 16 a game and 9. So that's what he's been averaging for his entire career up until this point, which has only been 3 years. And you're saying, is that worth, was it $222 million is what I just read? $224
$44.8 million a year is what that averages out to.
It's really crazy, but that's the direction in which we're heading in. I mean, like you said, name those players again that you just named. You ended with Zaire Williamson, right? Or Zaire Williams.
Yes. So the top 10 draft picks in that draft: Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey, Kuminga, Franz Wagner, Davion Mitchell, and Zaire Williams.
So out of everybody you just named, the only person that I could say that I wouldn't be surprised with would be Scotty Barnes, and I wasn't surprised when he got paid. So, like, out of everybody else, I mean, if Cade is just gonna give more years of his life to to Detroit, they're gonna probably pay him handsomely. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But for Evan Mobley to be getting this much money, and then I'm sitting here wondering what the salary is looking like for them in terms of keeping together the core of D. Mitch, Darius Garland, Allen, and Mobley, what that's going to look like, because that's a lot of money on the table right there. You want to talk
Yeah.
about being a playoff contending team? Can you want to win a championship? Like, that's your goal. You want to win a championship. You want to make the conference finals. All those other pieces are going to be very necessary in 2 to 3 years' time. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
that's interesting. 224 million. It's outrageous, but I can't say I'm surprised because of the way that the salary cap is just going up. Like the money's just gonna keep flowing year by year, and a lot of people are gonna be getting bags.
So, for example, you have for the Cleveland Cavaliers, not this season, but in 2025-6 season, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley, those three players together are going to eat up 80% of your salary cap.
Okay.
80% for a team that hasn't even made it to ECF.
Crazy work. So what would you think a more realistic contract would have been? Because let me ask you this question: do you think obviously he's gonna get realistically over, let's say, 150 million, right? Over a 4-year period.
Mhm.
All right, let's say that's like the minimum basis. Now he's getting 224 over 4 years. Or is it 4 or 5 years?
5 years. 5 years.
5 years. Okay. So, okay. Where do you think he realistically, a player of Evan Mobley's caliber, would fall in that period?
See, that's the thing, is that he's worth, it's not, and that's why I'm trying to change my thinking more so than looking at the dollar number, looking at the percent of the cap, right? That's how I'm trying to start looking at it, because I think that's how we're going to have to start having these conversations as we're adjusting to the dollar amount. The dollar amount is so over the top at this point. It's really about how much percent of the cap you're taking. So if you're telling me that Evan Mobley, who's going to be at that point in time when the extension kicks in, 24.93%, basically 25% of your salary cap. I can't say that like with his youth. On top of that, maybe more like 22% than 25%. But at that point, like, how much are you really saving? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see that point.
Yeah.
Shout out Evan Mobley.
And I agree with Mad Max here. Great point. It seems like if it's not going to be Donovan Mitchell, it's going to be Jared Allen, who seems like he's the odd man out.
He's going to be. It makes sense to me. I mean, shit. We'll see. Let's just pray for Donovan Mitchell.
What do you let's say they have health, right? Because that's always the conversation. You have this, you're talking about relative health, whatever that looks like. How far in this Eastern Conference, with the Knicks continually adding to their team, with what the Philadelphia 76ers did, taking teams that could take a step up, and like I said before, I honestly, if they could be healthy, I have the Charlotte Hornets as a team that could be a disruptor in the East. Not necessarily they're gonna make it out the East or anything like that, but I do think the last time LaMelo Ball was healthy, that team won 43 games, and they're a lot better team than what they were then. So I do think if they have health too, they're a team that can make it a little bit more interesting in the East. Where do you see the Cavs sitting in the Eastern Conference as of right now?
I mean, just basing it off of last year, right? Like, this was a team. I'm looking at their offensive rating. They were 18th in offensive rating, 6th in defensive rating, 48 wins, right? They fired JB Bickerstaff, they bring in Kenny Atkinson, and then you look at the team now and you say, okay, looking at the big four, D. Mitch, Mobley, Allen, Garland. Now, I'm looking at everybody else. Karis LeVert, I kind of already know what to expect with him. I like Ty Jerome. He used to play for the Warriors. Max Strus, we saw him in spurts last year even. I remember there was that one game where he pulled off like 4 straight threes, and I was like, damn, and single-handedly won them the game.
Yeah, against us. The game you're talking about against the Bulls. He murdered us. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, crazy game. Crazy thing to witness, but that's more of a variance player in the words of Gifted, who isn't here with us right now. So for me, top 5 seed, yeah, I could see that. Do I think that they're going to move the needle in the postseason past the teams that you just made, or teams that you just named? No, I don't see them beating a healthy Knicks team in 7 games. I think Donovan Mitchell can be Donovan Mitchell, but like I said before, Darius Garland is another failed postseason away from being a fraud, from being an absolute fraud. I'm sorry, but when Donovan Mitchell first came to the Cavs, my initial thought was, oh, him and Darius Garland about to be a little tag team tandem. And it was Donovan Mitchell essentially carrying Mike Conley back in the Utah years. Like, it's the same thing. Nothing's really changed. So the way I see it, they're not going to be better than a healthy Knicks team. Philadelphia, I still would pick them over them. And then, of course, there's Boston. Now, like you said, there's the other teams that are in that mix. You said you think it could be the Hornets. I could see it too. I think Brandon Miller's going to take an exceptional leap this year, even more so than his rookie year. Hopefully, we get a healthy LaMelo Ball. But outside of that, like, I'm trying to think.
Magic.
The Magic, the Magic. Completely forgot about them. They're not beating the Magic in the 7 games. I think if they run that back 7 games with KCP there, I got the Magic winning that one. Still will go probably 6 or 7 games, but I could see the Magic winning that one. I could see KCP containing Donovan Mitchell for a game or 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, they're not rising up the ranks, which is the problem. So, yeah, it's one of those things where we're just gonna see how it works. Another thing too, we got to give Kenny Atkinson some time, or right,
That's
whatever.
True.
We got to figure out what he can do with this team that JB Bickerstaff couldn't do, and then we'll see. But it doesn't really move the needle for me. They're gonna be banking on Darius Garland's variancy and Max Strus's, and then Jared Allen in the playoffs. Same thing as last year. So, what about a Jared Allen for Ingram trade, Mad Max? Appreciate you, brother, for the donation.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Now, what would they do? Now, what would they do in that situation? You bring in Brandon Ingram, right? Now there is no Jared Allen. You move Mobley to the 5. I'm assuming wouldn't have a problem with that. Or even shit. You think Bi could play the 4? I don't think so, but.
I think he can play the. I don't know how well he'll stand up to being a 4 full time for a season. I think he can play the 4. I think he can play the 4. It's not the optimal position for him, but I do think he can play the 4.
I think it's all about the lineup, personally. Yeah. Like,
Evan Mobley's so good defensively too that maybe you're.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Good shit, man, Max. Good shit.
Yeah, Mad Max been killing it today.
He has been killing it today. W Mad Max. You know who hasn't been here though?
Brandon Katz.
Ain't heard shit. Ain't heard no negativity today. Ain't heard nothing.
Hey, that's hilarious, bro. I didn't even think about that until now. It's been mad peaceful around this mug.
It's
So
been mad peaceful in the chat. Good shit,
yeah.
Clay. Y'all been holding it down today. Tay, what's good, bro? What's good with y'all? Y'all been holding
So
it down.
I know we brought up the Charlotte Hornets and we briefly touched on them. I don't know if you got to see it or not, but Brandon Miller did say that the Hornets are going to be a playoff team next year.
Okay.
How,
I like the conference.
as we're talking about the Eastern Conference, since we're in this Eastern Conference, when you look at any team that did not make the playoffs last year, which team are you? So the team that did not make the playoffs or the play-in last year: Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, Charlotte Hornets, Washington Wizards, Detroit Pistons. If you want to throw in who didn't make it out the play-in, of course, the Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks didn't either. If you're looking at any of that grouping of teams, which one do you think has the best chance based off where the roster is right now to actually make the playoffs next year?
Shit, man. Honestly, the Bulls.
Really?
Like they would be at the top of the list. They may not be. It would be between the Bulls and everybody because the Nets they're going to be tanking. The Pistons, I don't see much improvement there. The Hornets, I see some improvement there. So it would be between the Hornets and the Bulls. And the only reason I think the Bulls are a wild card is because they've been in the same place for relatively the last 4 years. So it's just a matter of if it's their playing game or not, my nigga. Like, like if it's their day. Like, if they can knock down shots, they might secure a playoffs.
Yeah.
Or but whatever. So I'd say the Bulls and the Hornets would be at the top of that list, and the Raptors. I'm high on Scotty. I'm high on Emmanuel Quickly. I think RJ Barrett. I'm always hopeful that he has a good year. But in the Hornets case, it's completely up to LaMelo's health. But I think that if LaMelo and B Miller are there, I love that duo because I feel like they can just turn the city up. I don't know. And y'all gotta, I ain't gonna lie too. What's that Mataz dude you was telling us about last Sunday?
Yeah.
Y'all got a stud on y'all hands.
Hey,
Y'all got a stud on y'all hands.
Hey, I like him a lot. Like he did a lot for me this summer league and just showing how I can see him fitting in on the NBA roster, which is really good. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I would have to pick. I would love to be able to say the Bulls, but I to me it is the Hornets. Like I don't think that that's a crazy claim. Like when you look at it, like I said, and maybe I just hold that 43 win season in a higher regard than what I should. I can admit that, but that was the last time LaMelo was healthy. You add in Brandon Miller. Also, on top of that, like you said, those two are cooking. But then you also have Mark Williams there, who, when he was healthy last year, averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, I think almost a block and a half per game as well. It's just health. And Charlotte Hornets is just a terribly ran and unlucky franchise as well. So maybe better than health for that franchise isn't good, but you still got Miles Bridges there who now has the security. He's continued to show that he can be a good NBA player. Like I just look at that Hornets team and I think that if I'm picking any team to surprise in the East, meaning that they just didn't do shit last season, it'd be the Hornets for me, man.
Hey man, I'm just hoping that Grant Williams has like a comeback year. Because I just feel like Grant been getting no love. Like he ain't been getting no love since he decided to call out Jimmy Butler in the playoffs and then proceeded to get cooked into oblivion. And I mean, it all went downhill from there. They didn't like him in Dallas. They didn't like him in Boston. If they don't like him in Charlotte, bro, gonna be playing in China next year. If I'm being real, like he not.
Hey, it's very close to getting to that, bro. And it's crazy to think this is like, of course, now we look at what Grant Williams has been, but like Grant Williams was an important piece to that Boston Celtics team. And it's like now, like people just look at him and talk about him almost as he's an afterthought or trash. Like when he called out Jimmy Butler, not to say that you believe that he was going to stop Jimmy for what he was doing, but it's like, all right, Grant said it. Like Grant is
no one else is going to do it.
Yeah, like the whole Grant Williams thing. Like I know that he's never been the stat sheet darling or anything like that, but like for what he's able to do at being a 6'6" power forward in this league, I always respect guys like that, man.
I respect guys like that too. That's what I said. I hope he has a great year. I hope he has some sort of comeback year to remind people of what he can bring to a team, as opposed to him getting cooked by Luka Doncic one-on-one in practice. Like, why aren't we surprised at that? Like, why are we surprised about that?
That's a fact.
But yeah, that's funny.
That's hilarious, actually, man. Oh, one thing that we did talk about before we were talking about bad contracts. Sam Hauser, $45 million from the 4 years, $45 million. from the Boston Celtics, you had mentioned before we started recording that with them trying to sell the franchise, maybe you look at that. Like and this highlights the point that we were talking about earlier. We are really just at the place where we're going to talk about role play. Like I think we're five, if I'm not mistaken, the last 5 years. In 5 years, the mid-level exception will be close to $18 million. By the way that the trajectories everything's on.
Yeah.
So we're going to live to see the point where high-level role players are getting between $20 to $25 million per year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just crazy. Like, I know I'm older than you. I still remember when Kevin Garnett signed the first $100 million contract. And it was such a big deal that it was on the front page of like Slam or Sports, whatever it was at that point.
Was that 04? Was that 04?
Yeah, I think so.
Like 2.
And so
it was literally 2.
Thanks for that, bro. Jesus Christ. What was I, 15? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm that much older than you. But we're reaching that point seriously where that's why I say we really have to reframe. Well, I looked at Evan Mobley's contracts like, damn, that's a lot of money. But like when you pair that with what your role players are getting ready to get, and that's why, like, for example, on the Bulls, Patrick Williams getting $18 million. I'm like, well, if he just stays healthy and keeps being a 10-4 guy, that's almost what they're going to start getting for that contract. It's a little early, but we're not too far removed from that just being like the base contract. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I told you I was watching a video the other day at work on lunch. It was breaking down like the second apron and the CBA and all of that. And what I gathered from that video was essentially that the league just doesn't give a shit about dynasties anymore, or is trying to go away from that, or is trying to punish essentially the good teams, even though, and it's based off of this misconception that like small market teams can't get any steam or anything, can't build anything, can't develop anything. And I'm like, that's not true. Minnesota was a top 4 seed in the conference last year, and they're a small market team. Oklahoma City has been a small market team since the inception of the team. They just happened to have Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden at one point, and then years after that had to build their way back up to where they are with SGA, Chet, Lou Dort, and J-Dub and the crew. Like, that Denver Nuggets are a small market franchise that won a championship last year. So it's like that doesn't make any sense to me. I would think if you're the league that you're trying to ensure that dynasties can be born, but I get that they want to have parity within the sport. That's fine. But
Joe Biden dropped out the presidential race.
Swear to God.
Swear. I saw the comment and I had to go look at it. Joe Biden dropped out the presidential race.
Oh my!
I know
God.
This isn't political podcast.
Yeah, we never want. We ain't political. See, we players' choice. But dog. Ladies and gentlemen,
that's crazy.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
That's crazy. That's
chat. Are we cooked? Why?
America's cooked.
Is America cooked, chat? Look at his face. He don't even know where he at right now,
bro.
He's out of the presidential race. We are absolutely, positively,
and you know for 100% fact he's gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, "Hey, when's the debate?"
Hey, look. My question is, who's the replacement? What are we doing? Is it they just gonna let Trump cakewalk, or is Kamala about to step up? What's happening? Where Michelle Obama at? I'm like, where Bernie Sanders? Somebody get somebody on the phone. Because one political party needs a representative. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Oh man, hey bro, this when we look back, I wish. Do you remember the show that they did on Netflix for a while there when it was like the end of 2022, the end of like when they were doing that around COVID and they stopped doing it?
Yeah.
If they still did that show at the end of the year to recap 2024, would be the craziest. Like, you got to think what's all happened in 2024. You had Cat Williams starting off the year. We're barely over halfway through. You already got Cat Williams. You got
Drake and
Kendrick beef. What?
Chris Brown had to remind niggas who he was for a second.
Chris Brown, in a rap battle, won a rap battle. That's crazy as well.
Oh, Kanye done some shit.
Kanye's always something Kanye's done on the list.
What am I missing? Chat, help us out. What else have we missed? What has happened?
There's like 15 things we're missing.
Damn. Diddy. Diddy and Cassie.
The Diddy thing. Did you, by the way, did you see the video they released from jail of R. Kelly singing in jail while he was mopping? Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, bro, he still got it. Like he was literally mopping in jail, singing his ass off, bro. And I was just like, this is the craziest thing that I've seen in my life. Like, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Nigga thought he gonna get time off. He better sing that shit, nigga. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Diddy thing. This presidential race has been crazy.
The presidential race, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, just everything. What else? Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. Everybody was just beefing at one point. That's the biggest thing with 2024 is beef. Everybody was beefing at some point in time, right? And now Joe Biden is out of the presidential race, and we don't know what's about to happen. Let me tell you something. Trump about to. I wouldn't be surprised.
The victory lap is about to be crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played Not Like Us and danced. Ear bleeding, ear hanging off the flab and everything.
Oh, the airplane that disappeared.
The airplane that disappeared. You're right.
Disappeared. Like,
I'm trying to think. There was something else. I just had it. Oh my god. Jalen. So it's just a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. I'm sorry. I had to make light of this situation. It's just a lot going on, man.
That's crazy, man. Bronny getting a guaranteed contract.
Trump got shot. That's another one. I mean, damn. Literally last week. And oh my god. One of my boys just posted. He said, this should say Joe Biden. Yo, shout out my boy Trey. That shit.
Oh man. Hey man. That's crazy, man. We've lived through some crazy shit, bro. Like, old girl who hired her husband to kill her mom, right? Didn't that happen or what? No, what? It was something like that.
Hired her husband to kill her mom.
Yeah, or maybe
happening, bro.
Yeah, it was white people shit. So like,
that's man. I don't know who gonna save us. I need The Rock to run. Let's end the last like 5 minutes just going through replacements. Y'all can clip this too, PC. But let's just throw out some hypothetical replacements for Joe Biden. I'm gonna start. The Rock, John Cena, LeBron,
Kendrick Lamar,
Curry, Kendrick Lamar, not Drake. I feel like Cole could make a good president. I feel like
Cole already dropped out of one race this year. Do we really want to see him drop out of another one? That's all I can say. Like we already saw him drop out of one competition. I don't think we need to see.
Never mind. Let me get shit. Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington. We need one of them. Like, I feel like Morgan Freeman could. If Biden got into office and Trump like 3 years younger than Biden, might as well let Morgan Freeman crack up in there for the one time before you get up out of here. My man. Damn.
That's crazy, man.
Let's get if Donald Trump can run for office, how come Vince McMahon can't run for office? That's my question.
Well, now with all the cases around Vince McMahon, it's done.
Cases for Vince McMahon, cases for Donald Trump. Trump is a convicted felon. Vince McMahon is halfway there. Like, this country's a joke. This country is a joke. I'm sorry. I just gotta say, I think if Trump is in office, anybody can run for office, and that's cool. It is what it is.
I think we should get Chill. Chill should run for office.
Chill Town.
Chill should definitely run for office, bro. And he should pick Ticket as his running mate. Because who's cooking Ticket in the debate?
We need Chill Town as president, Ticket VP.
VP.
Who says no? PC, clip that right now. Chill Town for president, Ticket VP. Who says no?
Big
like
Ox
that.
as the
That's a
campaign
perfect.
manager.
That's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have Claire secretary. Shit, we'll find a way in there somehow. You know, we'll be cabinet members or something. Representing the player's choice.
Mars got to be the head of Secret Service because you know he always wears the hoodie. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
sees Mars anyway. Like he'll just be in the background somewhere, like ready for shit to pop off.
Mars Secret Service. I'm thinking Mars should probably run for president too. Shit. Shout out Mars. Me and him are gonna be going. I can't even talk about it right now.
Yeah, we can't talk about it, bro. Like I'm super excited about that though, bro. I'm super excited about that. Like when they the lineups are we're giving too much. Giving too much.
We are giving too much, but we're gonna talk about it after the show. How they gonna do me like that? But I was like, all right, whatever, let's go. Like, I was like, whatever, you know. I was like, they want main event right off rip. They want
right off the rip, bro. That's gonna be crazy, man.
For sure. Hey, look, this would be a good way to end because we still got to collect our thoughts. We had to collect our thoughts before the show. Now we got to collect them after. That's crazy on a whole different concept. Ice Cube, he should run. I think that'll be. Yeah, let me get Ice Cube in there. But yeah, what you got? Anything else? Hey,
no, man, that's it, man. This has been a great show, a fun show. Shout out to Gifted, man, who wasn't able to make it, man. Hopefully we're all back next week, back in full power. Yeah, that's it, man. I got nothing left.
We cooked. Y'all know where to find us. The links are in the description below this video. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Gifted and Jalen will be on hopefully sooner rather than later in the coming episodes. We'll be back on Tuesday with me hosting. I don't know what the title will be. Will depend on how that's going to depend on, I guess, how USA plays against Germany tomorrow, but we'll see. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace.